There are 5 types of homes you should never buy in any market, and in this video, I'm going to tell you all about them. Hey everyone, welcome back to Living in YYC. Mark and Natalie Newstater, not here in this video, with eXp Realty, and we wanted to do this video because this is important. These are homes that may seem good on the outset, but they could cost you thousands of dollars down the road, whether it's in repair, maintenance costs, title issues, or resale many years from now when you eventually go to resell those homes. So let's get into it. Here are the 5 types of homes you should avoid buying at any cost. All right, the first home that you should avoid buying virtually at any cost, and I would say in this case at any cost, is any home with major structural issues or extensive repairs. And when we're talking structural issues, let's start from the bottom up. So at first, we're going to be looking around the outside of the house. Are there any major cracks in the foundation that we can see in our first initial showing that's going to present a potential major issue for you to address down the road? Now, I have had clients that have actually sold a house with a foundation crack and it was repaired probably under $1,000, but there's going to be other issues where either it's not repairable or not repairable unless you're spending maybe even thousands or tens of thousands of dollars. So those are absolutely houses you want to avoid at any cost. Or extensive repairs. What would be a good example of extensive repairs? Well, if we look at those structural issues, are there things that then go up to the rest of the home where floors are unlevel, they're bouncy, where there's been maybe some mold in the home, and mold that has extended past just one wall, or potentially where it's gone up into the roof, those structural issues, I mean, and so all of a sudden the roof is sagging, things like that. Generally, we're not going to run into a ton of that, but when we do, you want to run away as fast as you can. The second type of home that we want to try to avoid at any cost is properties located in high-risk areas. So these could be flood zones, wildfire-prone regions, things like that. I would also add on to this one is homes that are in not super desirable locations in a community, and we'll get to that in a second. But first off, high-risk areas, flood zones, wildfire. In Calgary, we don't have a ton of wildfire issues, thankfully, and of course, we're always thinking about those people that do have wildfire issues more in the northern part of the province, but we do, and we have back in 2013 had a major flood. Now, you can get insurance for some of those homes, but it can be more challenging and you never know when that next flood is coming. And we have flood zone maps that we can look at to make sure that you're not buying in a potential flood zone area. And again, this is going to be at your own risk. It wouldn't be something I would totally avoid, but definitely something to think about. You need to be factoring into your decision. And then the third thing I talked about there is homes that are in not a great location in that particular community. I'm going to get real specific here. Homes that are backing onto major roadways. I'm not going to say avoid at all costs, because you can buy them. They could be a great home. Maybe they have a great triple pane windows. You're not going to hear the noise, and they have central air conditioning, so you don't have to open your windows in summer, so you're going to actually hear the noise. But if there are other options in that community, we would strongly recommend, even if it's even $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 more, that is going to come back to you when you go resell that home down the line, because homes backing on to busy roadways, when the market flips into a buyer's, they're not the last to sell. They're selling for way less money than homes that do not back onto that major roadway. There could be a home that is literally across the street from the home that backs onto the major roadway. It'll sell quicker and it will sell for more money. So there's number 2. And now let's get on to number 3 are homes with unresolved title, legal, or zoning problems. Now, we're going to pull the title. We can look at the title. Most times, most realtors in Calgary will add the title to the supplements in our system for us realtors that we can see. We're going to look at that title, examine it. Typically things like, when the property was purchased, what the mortgage was, was that was put on it. And then you'll get into things like maybe a restrictive covenant where you can't do certain things to that property because of a restrictive covenant that was put on it years and years and years ago. Sometimes those apply in newer communities where there's a certain building design code that you have to adhere to. Mahogany would be a great example, but also it could apply to acreage properties where you can only build a certain number of outbuildings and they can't encroach too far into your property line, things like that. So title issues can be major, and they not only cost you tens of thousands, they could affect your lifestyle living in that property for the time that you're actually going to live there. You're not going to be able to do the things you want to do. Of course, condos are famous because you can only do what that condo complex allows you to do. We're talking even detached and semi-detached homes in some circumstances. So that is the third type. Now let's get on to number 4. So the fourth type of home is a home in an area that is trending downward. Now, of course, in Calgary, we do the roller coaster in real estate, but I would say that, there are certain areas of the city, unfortunately, where there is a lot of inventory right now as I'm recording this in June of 2025. One area right now that is just markedly up big time in inventory, and I would say trending downwards a little bit, is the deep north. That area up there had 11 months of inventory as of the end of May. Now, clearly that is going to be trending downwards price-wise. There might be areas that are just trending downwards just because of people that are not renovating their homes. They're moving in, they're letting them maybe get into disrepair. Then that affects quality of the resale value, quality of the home, quality of lifestyle in those neighborhoods. So we can definitely have that conversation about not only where's there a ton of inventory, but what's happening in that particular community. Are people actually in their homes? Are they renovating them, both on the inside? And you'll find that the areas where people are renovating homes, those will continue to go up in value, but where people are kind of like there's less people doing that, they'll tend to either stagnate or oftentimes they will actually go down in value as well. So we want to stay away from those. And finally, number 5 is homes that have had DIY upgrades. Listen, we all love YouTube. I'm a YouTube addict, just ask Natalie. But there are homes where we can just tell, right? It is a DIY upgrade. Now I'm going to split this into 2 parts here. If there has been a cosmetic DIY upgrade, I would personally still buy that house because that's something that I can fix later down the road, but that may not be comfortable for you. Maybe even painting kind of scares you. You don't want to paint, you just want to move in and put your furniture down and enjoy living in that home. We'll stay away from those homes. I'm talking more about any home that's had major, I don't know if they've developed the basement, but it was done with their best friend's cousin's brother's uncle, who used to be a contractor 25 years ago, but this is kind of now his retirement job. Here's the other really big red flag with DIY upgrades. We can see what permits have been pulled on the City of Calgary website, and honestly, anybody can go to that website. It's mapgallery.calgary.ca. You click on featured maps, and then you look at your property, and you can type in any address in the city to see the permit history over the last 10 years. It is a fantastic website. So even you as a member of the general public can go look at that. But we want to generally, I would personally stay away from a home that did have permits pulled for things that needed permits pulled. Plumbing, electrical, basement development, all of those, there's a reason why those things need to be permitted, those types of upgrades, because a professional inspector needs to look at those to make sure they were done to code. Who knows if the electrical was proper, the plumbing, all those things that matter to you as a homeowner that will affect your quality of life living there. Because if they didn't have permits pulled and you buy that property without permits, guess what? When you go to sell it, you need to disclose that those permits were not pulled for that property. And if you stuck around for this whole video, thank you so much. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, throw that like up there as well. And here is a bonus tip for you. If you're the kind of person that likes fiddling with your house, changing exterior colors, paint, all that kind of stuff, the pro tip here is the 6th type of home I would encourage you to stay away from, if you can, is anything that is a condo, because you are severely limited, especially on the inside of that condo. Row townhouse, semi-detached, apartment condo, you're limited in terms of what you can do on the outside, if anything at all. Like a row townhouse complex, maybe you can change the paint color on your front door, but oftentimes you can't even do that. So there's many other options options in Calgary, row townhouses, semi-detached, that are actually not apartment or row townhouse condos. Just did a video on our channel here. You can look up that one right after this, but some of the benefits, pros and cons of both. So there you go. There are 5 types of homes we would recommend you stay away from, not buy here in Calgary, plus the bonus tip. So if you're looking to make a move to Calgary, we are here to help. I'm going to drop a link to our Google Calendar in the description below. So make sure you book a call with us. We'd love to make that move easy and stress-free for you. For Natalie, I'm Mark. We'll see you next time.